Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are Group 1. Today we are going to present our material, which is English Language School Management. But before that, we would like to thanks to our beloved teacher,
Memelian Rayhana Sofyan.
Thanks to her for giving us the opportunity to present this material, because we consider this one of the important material because we're talking about the English language. Because for your information, English language has become the official word as a mandatory subject in Indonesia since 1967 to 1998. But before we dive into the actual material, I would like to introduce my friends. Her name is Aileen Akmahina.
Hello everyone, my name is Erik Marina.
And I'm Muhammad Satu Hasika. And maybe that for the introduction. And without any further ado, we'd like to introduce the chapter 1, which is the chapter 1 going to talk about the English language education in Indonesia. And it's going to be explained by my friends Aileen Akmahina. Aileen, time is yours.
Alright, thank you for the opportunity. So, now let's move to the next slide. Okay, before we present our material, I want to mention our key concepts. So the first is introduction, and then key concept, formal versus non-formal education, challenges, informal learning, roles of EL schools, services which general or specialized course, regulation and quality assurance, technology integration, conclusion, and the last references. Okay, now we want to talk about chapter 1, English language education in Indonesia. Okay, so according to Zain et al. 2020, during the New Order era, 1967 until 1998, English began to take on an official role as a mandatory subject in secondary schools. Following the issuance of Presidential Decree number 28 of 1990, so this policy was implemented in secondary schools under the Ministry of Education and Culture, including junior high school or maybe earlier SMP, and then senior high school or SMA, and vocational schools or SMK, as well as in madrasah such as MTS and MA that fall under the Ministry of Religious Affairs. So, as you can see, now we are going to discuss about the differences between formal education and non-formal education. Okay, first, let's talk about informal education. In informal education, it's more structured, organized, and governed by laws and norms. The second is adhering to strict curriculum methods and content. And the next is conducted in official institutions such as schools and universities. And next, involving teachers, students, and institutions. And then analyzing attendance, examinations, and graduation to obtain diplomas or degree. And then often blaming students for failures without considering other factors. And the less flexible, less creative, and less attentive to the personal development of the student. Okay, now here the example of formal education. So the example is studying English at school or university with an official curriculum and certified teachers. Meanwhile, in non-formal education, it's more flexible in terms of curriculum and teaching methods, and then organized yet not conducted within official institution, and then comprises the needs, interests, and experiences of students. And then the relationship between instructors and students is not overly rigid. The next is learning frequently occurs outside the classroom in more relaxed settings. And then stress practical skills and the development of attitudes such as tolerance. And the last, responsive to change and encourage self-awareness as well as understanding of the surrounding world. Okay, the example of non-formal education is learning outside of school, such as through courses or training. Now, As you can see, there are two pictures that show the result of research related to challenges in both formal and informal education. So in formal education, the challenges are, the first is lack of self-regulated learning or SRL skills. So many students are not yet capable of learning independently and still rely on their teachers. The second is rigid curriculum. So the curriculum is inflexible, making it difficult for teachers to implement learning that encourage student independence. The third is teachers are not prepared. So many teachers have not achieved adequate training to support SRO or feel insecure in encouraging students to learn independently. The fourth is variability in SRL levels in class. Students with high and low SRL create a gap that challenges teachers in adjusting their teaching methods. The fifth is student dependence attitude. So students tend to wait for direction and focus solely on exam rather than the learning process itself. The sixth is minimal support from institution. Schools or university often do not provide the facilities and resources necessary to promote independent learning. Okay, meanwhile, in non-formal education, the challenges are, the first is administrative challenges. So it's like too much bureaucracy hinders program implementation, and lack of clear policies makes the rules of each party uncertain, and then mobilization of resources by the government is difficult. Okay, the second is limited resources. So it's like funds and learning facilities are fairly limited. And then depending on government, funding that is not always steady. And then quality of education is often sacrificed due to less than ideal condition. The third is rejection from the community. It's like many people underestimate the benefits of informal education, and then traditional culture considers formal education more prestigious. And then as a result, NFE participation rates are low, especially among women and marginalized groups. Okay, the fourth is, the last is lack of trained educators. So many NFE educators do not have educated training. This has an impact on the low quality of teaching, and training and professional development are urgently needed. Okay, after discuss about formal and informal education, now let's talk about informal learning in Indonesia. So there are several ways how informal education works. The first is independent learning. Means many individuals learn English on their own through books, application, videos, or the internet according to their interest and available time. The second is English at home. Means some families incorporate English into their daily lives, aiding children in learning from an early age. The third is training and workshop. Means professional training often utilize English, allowing participants to learn the language while enhancing other skills. The fourth is language clubs and communities. Means clubs and communities provide opportunities to practice English through discussion, debates, and also games. The fifth is social media and technology, like YouTube, podcasts, and social media, have become popular learning resources due to their accessibility and engaging content. The sixth is language exchange. So there are also those who learn through language exchange programs, whether online or in person, to practice with native speaker. Alright, maybe that's enough for me. Next, for the next material will be presented by the partner, Muhammad Syafa Azina. Time is yours.
So, before I delve into the main points, let me give you a quick overview of what is this chapter is really about. So basically, this chapter explains why English language or EL schools matter in Indonesia. It's taken from a book by Carol Arroyo Compot and this TIP Malolo 2024, and it shows how EL schools are now super important in our education system. And as you can see here, this is a general overview that I will going to explain, but it is too long to read it, so I'm going to skip to the next chapter, next slide. Sorry. Okay. Here's the vibe. EL schools are like the upgrade paid for your English learning. It's offering more practice, more flexibility, and more real-world use. Unlike formal schools that often focus on theory, these schools actually help you use the language. They're especially useful because English in school here is often taught without much speaking or hands-on practice. And the cool part, these schools help people reach the level of English they needed, whether for uni, jobs, or just better communication. So yeah, this chapter sets the stage before we get into the rules, services, and how EL schools work. Okay, now let's talk about the rules of EL schools. As you can see here, there's a several, and here's the thing. Why are English language EL schools important? Turns out, EL schools play a big role in education. Here are the top three. First of all, it is the complementary role to formal education, meaning they support formal education. Sorry, they don't replace school English, they add to it. Think of them like a power up. While schools give you the theory, EL schools show you how to actually use it in real life. Second, it is the lifelong language learning provider. It means they're for all ages. There's no age limit here. Whether you are a 10-year-old learning English for the first time, or maybe like a 14 years old preparing to work abroad, there's always class for you. And lastly, it is the adaptability and market responsiveness. It is meaning that they're first to adapt. If suddenly there's demand for English for nurses, or maybe one of my favorite is tourism, they can create a course for that with faster than formal schools. Okay, so it is actually the three of these are we're talking about. I'm taking from the book of our lecturer. It's the Kahampot Malolo, and also one of the references I use it is the Agustina 2014. Okay, next it is the services. What do they offer? This is the fun part. EL schools are flexible and offer lots of options. First, it is the general English language courses. These offer the basics like grammar, conversation, listening, speaking, everything you need for daily use. Perfect for beginners or anyone wanting more confidence in casual talk, you can actually use the EL schools. Next, second, it is the specialized English EL courses. It means this is for those who have specific goals like IELTS, TOEFL, Business English, ESP, EAP, everything, good for studying or working abroad. Third, it is the additional courses. It is like more courses. They offer like modern skill courses. So, if you want to be a tour guide, a public speaker, a writer, there are special classes like hospitality English, digital communication, and even journalism. Lastly, it is the other services. Other services here, meaning like the extra services that they offer. They go beyond teaching. Some offer translation, academic advice, cultural training, and community events. So there are those are the services that they offer to us. Next, we're talking about the regulation. Is it trustworthy? Don't worry. EL schools aren't just random places in office buildings. They office monitor? Yeah, we can say that. Let's get to the first one. Is this the legal framework and licensing? They need legal license. Just like regular schools, they must get permission from the Ministry of Education, and I stated that from Kampot and Malolo 2024. Next is the accreditation. Accreditation here meaning they have to accredited institution like Ben PLF if I'm not mistaken for check their quality. So you know the teaching is solid or is good, is cool. Next, teacher certification. It means you're not just learning from someone with a cool accent, like a British or something, but many teachers have passed PPG, PPG, sorry, or UKG, and know how to teach well. So it's not just like a random teacher out there. Lastly, it is the curriculum alignment. Curriculum alignment here, meaning that many of them follow CVR or national standards, so your learning match global expectation. Last, it is I want to talk about the technology integration, how they use tech. Technology makes learning at our schools way more fun and flexible. First of all, it is the enhancing learning flexibility and accessibility. It means learn anytime, anywhere, thanks to Zoom, apps, and recorded videos. You don't need to sit in traffic. Just log in from your bed, a cafe, or even while traveling. Next, it is the multimedia and authentic resources. In this part, we're talking about the not just like the textbooks. They use your videos, online games, and virtual simulation so you can practice using English in real life situation. Next, it is the process monitoring. It is progress monitoring. We talk about it's like the feedback. You get fast feedback here, digital reports and one-on-one support. So you'll know where you're doing great or where you need to improve. Lastly, it is the digital literacy. Digital literacy here means that STEM with digital communication skills, you learn how to write professional emails or give some presentation or maybe respond to DMs in English. Because English isn't just spoken and it's typed too. Okay, maybe that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening.
Based on our explanation before, so the conclusion that we can draw is English language schools or EL schools in Indonesia help people improve their English outside of regular schools. They give more flexible and focused learning options for students and professionals. These schools offer many types of course like general English, business English, and test preparations. Because of this, they are helpful for people with different goals, whether for school, work, or daily life.
And also, to make sure they give good quality education, all schools must follow government rules to get licensed and hire trained teachers. Many schools also use it from international standards like CVR for the lessons. They also use technology like online classes, videos, and apps to make learning easier and more fun. This helps students learn anytime and anywhere and prepares them to use English in today's digital world. And also, these are the several references that we use to help us find this amazing material from the books, from the journal, from the article. We have write it down in here. So yeah, those are the references that we use.
So that's our presentation. Hopefully, you can learn new knowledge from our explanation. Thank you so much for your attention. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so hi everyone. So earlier in the back video, we already done with the presentation session, and now we are going to do the discussion session, which is regarding our topic earlier, the English language school in Indonesia and English language education in Indonesia. So I'm here again with my friends Irene. Hi Irene.
Halo Syata.
Okay. Cause we're not gonna go with any chit chat anymore. So let's just get into the question. So in your material is about English language education, right?
That's true.
I have a question regarding on your chapter though. It's a little bit personal. It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay. So outside of the school, many people develop their English through informal experiences like maybe social media,
That's
entertainment, or real conversation, right, with foreigners. Do you have an example of when this kind of informal learning made a big impact on your language skills?
So yeah, thank you for the question. This is a great question. I use English informally in various daily activities, through especially through social media, movies, music, and chatting with friends. For example, I often watch random English videos on
Okay.
TikTok
Oh. Uh-huh.
and YouTube videos by Indah Mikyati.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, in her videos, she speak with many people in different countries, and yeah, actually this really helped me to understand vocabulary commonly used in everyday conversation,
Okay.
like words, phrases, and yeah, that I have not learned in formal course settings. In addition, I sometimes watch English language movies on
Okay.
Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. What kind of movies that you watch?
Some of ones that I've seen are Wednesday. Have you ever heard before?
Oh, I know that one. The little girl with the black dress and
That's true.
everything. Okay.
That's true. And also, and with an E.
Okay, that's
Um,
quite familiar for me. That
yeah.
person. Yeah.
So yeah, for me, watch these shows is really happy to me because uh, I learned several English idioms in context.
That's correct.
And then I also really like listening to music.
Oh, okay. Same.
And my favorite singer is Niki Zevanya.
Oh, okay.
That's true. From Indonesia.
Oh, yes, I know it.
And yeah, I feel that music is fun and enjoyable way to learn English because without feeling it like a chore. And lastly, I occasionally use an app called Meow to communicate with people in different countries. Have you ever
Okay.
heard before?
Oh, that's one of the apps that went to my FYP, but I'm not really quite familiar with that. So
Okay. So yeah, basically it's lets you use your voice
Oh, okay.
like through apa ya, phone call.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so through the app, I found a friend named
Oh.
Nihat. She's a girl.
Oh, okay. She's a girl.
Um,
Where is she from?
that I honestly forgot which countries she is from, but maybe Pakistan or somewhere around there. I don't know.
Okay.
And yeah, we exchange Instagram account,
Okay.
and for me, her present helped me to practice using English in everyday conversation.
Okay, that's a great answer though. Oh, I've noticed that earlier you mentioned about your favorite artist that you listen to much is Miki, right?
That's true.
I'm going to ask you though, because this is for like $1 million question.
Okay.
What is your favorite music from Miki?
My favorite song from Nicki is La 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 Loves You.
Oh,
You know it?
okay. Hope New
Yeah.
York told you.
Hope New York holds you.
Because it's really, oh my god, enjoyable to hear.
Okay, because also the melody is really slow, mellowing,
true.
and help us to
That's true.
calm our
Yes,
heart.
that's true.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you
Oh my god.
a
This
question.
is the part. Okay.
Are you ready for that?
I mean, you have to ask.
Okay. So, have you ever felt that English lessons at school were not helpful enough? So you needed to take extra course. And what skills would you most like to improve outside of school? Perhaps like speaking or exam preparation, maybe?
Okay. Regarding this question, if I have to be honest here, I never took any language course outside of the school.
Emang apa sih nggak boleh? Sombong amat.
Really?
Yeah, not because I didn't care, but because I never really felt that need to. School English classes had their limits, like not focused on real life speaking, right, or confidence building. But I figured it out my own way to level up because the language courses also just taught us how another material that we already learned in schools. So it's just like a double learning again in outside of school. So instead of I paying extra classes, I turn to the internet because it's 2025. Like everyone know the internet, everyone watching movies, everyone watching, of course, the TikTok. Which is it's really booming right now.
Yes.
Because everyone also know that. And I talk to people online like you, but I'm not from the application Meow, but I went to the Omegle. Do you know Omegle?
I ever hear before, but
Okay.
I'm not knowing specific about this application.
Okay, so basically this an website which is it's like a Ome TV from Indonesia,
Ah.
but this Omegle is for all of the country.
Oh, that's cool.
But here's the dark side of the Omegle.
Oh, okay.
Never ever use
Uh-huh.
that if you're alone or if it's night because a lot of people there is really negative way like showing I never have to explain
it's
that.
not a good.
It's not a good thing at all.
Picture.
But besides that, it's really helping me to boost my English. I learned a lot from that because I also made a friends, but it's from India.
Wow.
It's called. His name is a man. His name is Subham.
Subhan.
Yes, it's from India. It's she's also in university. His major is, if I'm not mistaken, it's like business or something. So yeah, that's for me. But if the school give us the basic, every school give us the basic of English. But what did make my English really help me? It is me that I putting this a lot of effort in here. Because I mean, you have to.
Okay.
Okay, so since we're done talking about our material earlier, I want to move on with the new question. It's a little bit personal. Is it okay?
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm ready for
Because
that.
it is really about yourself, about your opinion regarding to your everyday life. Okay.
Okay.
So, as far as I'm concerned, we're both not taking any English courses outside the school, right? So, if you're not taking the formal English classes, how do you fill the gap? Do you use some apps, watch a lot of English content, or maybe join a club or community? And do you think it's been effective for your learning?
Oh, okay. So, yeah, without taking any formal course, I try to make up for it by learning on my own.
Okay.
Aside from the things I mentioned earlier, like watching movies, using social media, listening to music, and chatting with foreigners, I also learn English through an app called Cake. Have you ever heard before?
Uh, it's not cake like the cake that I imagine, right? The cake
That's
that
true.
we can-
That's why I asked you.
No, I've never heard it before.
Yeah, basically it offers a variety of interesting and easy for use features such as English videos with native speakers, quizzes, games, and many more. And actually, this app helps me practice my speaking skills, including pronunciation.
Oh, what's that?
What? And then as well as my English skills, listening skills.
Okay. Oh.
And in my opinion, this kind of self-study is quite effective, especially yes, especially when done consistently and in ways that match our interests.
Correct.
Even though it's not structured as formal course, I actually find this method more flexible and enjoyable, which makes me more motivated to learn English.
Okay, so I have to study it. There's those application, right? It's called what is it? Cake.
That's
Okay.
right.
That's really good. Based on your explanation, I do accept that you've learned a lot from that application, right? You can boost your vocabulary, speaking, and anything. So that's a really good. Okay.
Okay, now I'm curious. Maybe
Oh, God.
my question it's a little bit sensitive.
That's okay.
It's okay.
We're not talking about sensitivity here.
So, yeah, my question is, when you compare to friends who take English course,
Oh God. There we
yeah, do you feel there is a difference in ability, such as speaking fluency or vocabulary, maybe?
go.
Uh, Why do you think that could happen?
Okay, so disclaimer, I'm not discriminate the other, but yeah, I've definitely noticed the difference. Some of my friends went to the language courses and they're doing fine. They know the structure, the theory, the rules. But if I'm being real, I really like I'm ahead in ways
Ah.
actually matter when you're using the language, not just studying it.
Yeah.
Like for example, my fluency more naturally, my vocabulary is way more flexible, and I don't freeze when I talk. I just talk.
Mm.
I mean, and also the difference is in the approach. They followed the system, but I challenge it.
Ooh.
Yes, I
Wow.
made it part. I made this English. It's part of my everyday environment. So I learn every day. It's become my like a daily routine. It's become.
Ah.
I'm not trying to be cocky here, but it's my like a second language.
Ooh.
Uh,
Not for language.
Not really language.
Okay.
Okay, so while they were focused on checking grammar boxes, I was out here building like instinct, picking up slang, understanding tone, and adapting naturally to different contexts. And not because I don't respect them, I respect them. Okay, I respect them a lot because
I see. I can see that.
we can judge people because
That's true.
everyone learns differently.
That's true. That's true.
But if we're talking about actual results, oh my god,
Uh-huh.
I don't really have to say this, but
Uh-huh.
confidence, fluency, and the ability to connect with people, I'm just like, this is my opinion, okay? My opinion. I'm more than my friends
Oh,
that taking the
okay.
English courses. So, yeah,
I
that's
see.
what
I can
me.
see that. Ooh,
Oh,
that's a cool opinion.
Thank you so much. It's really like we can say that English courses is bad, but
Yeah.
instead of you paying another classes, you can just it's 2025, bro. You can watch
Yeah.
movies, you can watch
TikTok.
TikTok, listening. Also in the TikTok, a lot of teacher there.
That's true.
They
And you
uploading.
can access this with free, nothing.
That's correct. We don't have to pay any $0 anymore.
That's true.
It's just free. It's out there. We just have to find it.
You can access that anywhere, anytime,
Mhm,
right?
Like the ladies say, we have to take effort.
That's true.
We have to take an effort. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, is there any question or?
I think it's enough for today.
Okay, I think that's enough for us because we already discussed about our material, which is the English language course in Indonesia and also English language education in Indonesia. And also there is some personal question that it's really insightful that I'm a little bit like, what? There's a lot of happening here. But okay, that's enough. Okay, so there is go. We have to end the session because beside the time we have to go home because it's already night. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
See you, everyone.
See ya.